During excessive rainy seasons, life becomes too hard for me. Such a horrible feeling, especially when I'm in menstruation period and also I have to go to school. The area becomes flooded due to poor drainage system. As a young lady who lives with a single mother, our lives fully depends on fish since we live around the lake. My mother sells fish and pays my school fees and all the house bills. During this period of excessive rain, the roads becomes too muddy. This affects fish sales since many sellers uses the road. This makes it difficult for my mother to get fish for sales, hence providing personal need was difficult. Due to flooding, there are no fish. This forces my mother to look for another beach where she can get fish. This is where the fishermen had traveled to in search of fish. I have to continue with my school. One day, as we were in the assembly, the principal announced that all the fees must be cleared for us to do our final year exams. This broke my heart since I already knew the situation at home without money. I went back home to see if I could at least get help. There was no way out since my mother had gone to another beach and there was no one at home. I had nowhere to go to. I decided to pay a visit to my boyfriend as I normally do when my mother is not around. I told him my story and he promised to help me. I did not expect him to change his behavior since he treated me well. I stayed with him for a long time. I had to do everything under his power. At one point, he started being arrogant. I figured out that he had another wife with children. He was also drinking a lot and taking abusive drugs. Due to this condition, he started sleeping with other ladies in the club, which made him to get infected with HIV. Anytime he came home, he demands for sex without protection. This made me sad and unfortunately, I got infected with HIV. I decided to sneak out of his house one day and went back home. Luckily, I found out that my mother had returned home. I told her the story and promised to help me out during this journey of taking HIV medication. She was able to provide since flood had reduced and fish could be easily caught. Our major fear was still on the return of floods. I decided to reach out to other young ladies and we were linked to She Sows project where we formed groups of young girls where we were taught on SRH and economic empowerment. I also organized sessions with community members and trained them on other sources of livelihood like farming and economic empowerment. The government initiated smart farming systems like cages to ensure there is fish throughout. They also constructed drainages to prevent flooding. I felt relieved when I heard meteorological department took the community through flood preparedness and safety measures.